Transformers and Rectifiers is a company that literally went from being a repair shop in 1981 to being the second largest manufacturer of transformers by installed capacity in 2025. So in today's video, over the next few minutes, I'll be covering everything that there is to know about the company, right from the history till the management's guidance of doing $1 billion in top line by FY28. So before we talk about the business model of the company, let's do a quick recap about the history of the company. So in 1981 was when Mr. Jitendra founded the company. They were a 33 kV transformer repair company. Before manufacturing, they were just into repairs. Fast forward to 1994 was when they got incorporated as a public limited company in Ahmedabad. And in 2007 was when they got listed both on NSE and BSE, because they had to raise funds, I think somewhere in the lines of 130 crores for their plant in Moraiya. But it was not until 2022 that all of these transformer stocks and power stocks came into the limelight, because in 2022 the government had massive investment plans in transmission and distribution. That is the same time when government also started talking about how India will reach a 500 gigawatt renewable energy capacity by 2030. And that is also when the AI boom came up, the data center story came up. So globally, there was a huge power demand. And obviously, transformers are a very vital part of this entire supply chain. So what do they exactly do? See, TARIL has a wide range of products, but I can broadly classify it into 4 segments. First would be your power transformers. Second would be your distribution transformers. Third would be your specialty transformers. And fourth would be your reactors and services segment. So your power transformers are all high voltage, like 400 kV, 765 kV, 1200 kV, used at power plants or probably transmission substations where you have to export this electricity over long distances. So that is one, and this contributes for about 60 to 70% of the revenue. Now the second one, distribution transformers. This accounts for 20 to 25% of the revenue. So this is lower voltage, probably up to 25 MVA, 33 kV. So this is responsible for delivering electricity to your house or businesses. And the third would be specialty transformers. As the name suggests, these are niche transformers for niche industries, like probably furnace transformers or solar transformers, hydrogen green transformers, or probably even earthing transformers. So this accounts for up to 15 to 20% of the revenue. And lastly is their reactor segment and after sales maintenance services. So reactors for series reactors for your efficiency and after sales maintenances, but this accounts for a very little part in their revenue breakup. So now let's talk about their capability and capacity. TARIL has 4 facilities. One is in Moraiya, which is 27,000 MVA. One is in Changodar, which is 30,000 MVA, and 2 facilities in Udav, which is 18,000 MVA. So all in all, about a 75,000 MVA capacity. Now, TARIL is, by the way, also is vertically integrated. So they do everything, right from design till testing. They do everything, and they run on a B2B model. See, there's nothing disruptive in the technology of transformers. Although TARIL has a 1200 kV transformer, but it doesn't differentiate it from ABB or Siemens, these global giants, and a domestic rival like CG Power. What actually differentiates TARIL is the backward integration that happened after the acquisition of Triveni Transtech in 2025. They acquired 51% of that company. It is a steel processing unit. Now to explain it very simply, transformers need this steel called CRGO steel, cold rolled grain oriented. So once you've acquired a steel processing unit, your entire supply chain is sorted. You don't have to rely on imports anymore. And this CRGO steel accounts for 30 to 40% of the cost in making of one transformer. So each year, TARIL will be saving 50 to 100 crores because of this acquisition. And since this only happened in 2025, the results of this will most likely be reflected in 2026. I would also like to touch upon the sustainability measures the company has taken, like eco-friendly designs of low-loss amorphous core transformers. So transformers waste some electricity as heat. When you use these specialized core materials like amorphous metals, they waste much lesser heat. So they're more efficient and more greener. And secondly, they've also involved 1 megawatt of solar rooftops and 0 liquid discharge systems. So they're powering their factory with these solar panels. And they also have wastewater recycling systems, so they don't pollute water. So to sum it all up, India is on a power sector boom, so is the entire world. Because of this AI revolution, data center boom, renewable energy push by the government, so on and so forth. Amidst this, you have TARIL, which plays a very important part in this entire supply chain. Now this company is run by a management that has 40 plus years of experience. They have a moat by backward integration, and they are also ISO certified for quality, environment and safety. Right, now let's get to the main bit, which is the financial performance breakdown. Transformers and rectifiers ever since September of 2022 has had a splendid growth, both in terms of top line growth, bottom line growth, margin increase, capacity utilization being increased. Everything has been growing north of 50, 60, 70%. That is why if you go and check the price of TARIL in September of 2022, it was at 14-15 rupees, and it happened to deliver a 4000% return over the next 2.5 years, right? So what is happening in Q1 FY26? In Q1 FY26 also the momentum seems to continue. Revenue is up 64%, EBITDA is up 120%, PAT is up 220%, EPS is up 57%. In this quarter, they also received their largest order from Jindal Energy in Botswana for 12 transformers. I think the order value is about 140 crores. And right now their order book is also at the all-time high, which is 5,240 crores. But all of this is in the past. Now what is the management guiding for the future? That we'll understand from the con call of Q1 FY26. Here I have taken the most important snippets from the con call, so we avoid the noise and focus on what is important. In Q1 alone, they clocked orders of 665 crores, taking their total order backlog to 5,246 crores. That's basically 15 to 18 months of revenue already locked in, and with orders of 18,000 crore already in inquiries. Right? The management is also saying that FY26 should close with an order book of around 5,000 to 5,500 crores. But here is where my mind was blown. Listen to this line from the CFO. We have become pick and choose in terms of the order. We are choosing the order considering what is the revenue margins we are making as well as what is the delivery time. Tell me one thing, who speaks like that in a con call? They're basically signaling that we have so much demand that we can afford to turn down business until and unless it's of high value to them and the ones that fit their delivery schedule. That to me is one of the strongest indicators you'll ever hear from the management. Talking about Capex, the construction had been ongoing for 22,000 MVA in Moraiya. Right now that will be functional by Q2 of FY26, which is in a month, alongside their CRGO processing and backward integration units. And he mentions that these strategic initiatives are aligned with our ambition to become a global force in transformer industry, providing advantages in raw material and cost deliveries. Talking about their capacity utilization, their utilization right now is at 65%. They're talking about taking this to 85 to 90%. He's also talking about going debt free in the next 18 to 24 months. Now, what is their long-term vision and market confidence? So the company has given a direct guidance of 3,500 crores of top-line revenue in FY26 and $1 billion in revenue by FY28. For that, they'll have to do a CAGR north of 50%. Now see, summarizing the financial statement in the con call, we understand one thing. TARIL has been growing north of 50% in all of its metrics since September of 22. Right now, their orders in hand are at the all-time high. Their capacity is increasing. Their capacity utilization is going to increase. They're very selective with their orders. Orders are at an all-time high. Order inquiries are at an all-time high. They're going to be debt-free in the next 18 to 24 months with a super bullish tone in their con call. And their future guidance is of a 50% CAGR too. So basis of whatever the management said in the con call, we can actually do an FY26 projection, right? So the management has guided that revenue will be 3,500 crores by the end of FY26. Let's take EBITDA margin at 17.5%. This would make our EBITDA to be at 612 crores. Subtract depreciation, subtract interest, you will get the PAT to be at or around 413 crores. Right? Divide this 413 crores by 300 million shares, you get the EPS, which is 13.77. Now you can calculate the forward PE. Forward PE is now coming down to be 35.3. So see, here is the deal on the table. TARIL has been growing at 50% since FY22 and they might continue to grow at 50% till FY28. This company is available to you at a 1-year forward of 35.3. They're operating in the right cycle under the right leadership, more importantly confident leadership, with a great order book and great margin expansion. But please remember, this video is not financial advice because equity markets may remain irrational for a very long period of time regardless of how the company performs. So please consult with your financial advisor and I will not be liable to any profit or losses that you make. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next.